This is FYI News 13, brought to you by SSPTV and the Hazleton Standard Speaker.
For your information, students, faculty, and staff are randomly stopping to do 22 push-ups at Luzerne County Community College. Our Lisa Sugart will find out why next. Welcome to FYI on SSPTV on this Earth Day. I'm Ken Kara, and let's check out Wednesday's headlines from FYI News 13 and the Hazleton Standard Speaker. The earth here in coal country has a lot of divots, and no, I'm not talking about potholes, I'm talking about mining. And on this Earth Day, FYI is taking a look at a mine reclamation project being done by Atlantic Coal. This is the Gowen mine site off of the Tom Hicken Road in the Fern Glen area. Around 100 years ago, it was a deep mine. More recently, the site was open pit mined. Atlantic Coal finished mining the site 6 or 7 years back, and now most of the property looks like it did over a century ago before mining started in this area.
We are required, so I should get that in first, but we're very pleased to go back to those mines and put them back. This land will have to fallow for about 10 years, and then after that it would be usable back into the community, housing, development, malls, villages, anything like that. The land will go back into hunting land or whatever. The land is then usable again, so obviously feels good for the community, and we get some pleasure out of doing our bit for the community, really.
Phase 1 of the process is filling in the pit, and then Phase 2 involves planting grass and trees. In other news, firefighters responded to Damon's Restaurant on Route 93 in Sugarloaf Township just before 10 p.m. on Tuesday night. According to our media partner, the Standard Speaker, patrons were outside before firefighters arrived on scene. A fire inside one of the walls of the restaurant was extinguished by firefighters. The restaurant was scheduled to reopen today. A second lawsuit has been filed in connection with the fatal shooting of a Hazleton man. According to our media partner, the Standard Speaker, the victim's brother Edgar Armando Catella, filed the lawsuit on Monday. 26-year-old Jonathan Garay was fatally shot by police on the back porch of his Alter Street home in October of 2013 after police said he repeatedly made grabs for his gun and pointed it at them. Garay's family members, who were home at the time of the incident, said the police account differs from what they saw. Luzerne County District Attorney Stephanie Salavanta says the shooting was justified. A federal lawsuit was filed by the Garay family last July. Hazleton City Council voted against a contract proposal by unionized firefighters in the city. The 7-year contract was turned away by a 4-1 vote. Sam Galsky wrote the story for the Standard Speaker, and he reports some council members were concerned about the length of the contract and health care costs. Union President Dave Fatula says he and the mayor, Joe Yanuzzi in Hazleton, put in a clause that the city or union can take another look at the contract if health care insurance costs reach the levels for a Cadillac tax. The Cadillac tax is part of the Affordable Care Act that will tax expensive health care plans, and it can go into effect in 2018. This is a concern for Councilman Dave Sosar, who says he's thankful for the firefighters' work, but he has to consider taxpayers. This issue will now go to an arbitrator. Fatula says that will be a costly process. Councilman Keith Bass cast the lone vote to approve the contract. Have you heard of the 22 Push-Up Challenge? This special event is being sponsored by the Luzerne County Community College Wellness Committee and the Health and Physical Education Club at the Nanaco campus to raise awareness about suicide among our veterans.
But we kicked off on Tuesday, April 7th at 11:22. The significance of the time is the 11th comes from Veterans Day. It's celebrated on the 11th month and the 11th day. And then 22 stands for the 22 veterans who take their lives daily and about one active military member. So that's the significance of the day and the time. And then we will run 22 days, Monday through Friday. So our closing ceremony will be Wednesday, May 6th, and we meet in the library courtyard at 11:22, start promptly at 11:22. We go down, do our 22, and anybody that completes the 22, and we have modifications as well. You don't have to do a full push-up. You can do wall push-ups, modified, or we even brought up a plank. So everybody could participate. And then they're entered in a raffle at the end on May 6th. We will draw winners for the raffle prizes, and we requested a color guard, and we're looking forward to having a nice little ceremony.
My brother took his life in 2013, and we need to have a discussion. We need to take the stigma away from suicide and its contributing factors of mental illness. We know that over 90% of people who complete suicide have a diagnosable mental illness. So I am very blessed to have a colleague like Miranda and my other colleague, Ed Gertis. They embraced me with helping me through my loss and now have initiated a discussion on our campus. And not only are we looking at veterans and the issue of suicide within the armed forces, but we're also addressing on a larger level, how do we help? How do we intervene? How do we know how to recognize the symptoms of people that may be struggling with mental and emotional illnesses, and much like we know the symptoms of a heart attack? And then how do we provide quote-unquote first aid? How can we assist and bring it back a step so that we can help someone before they reach that point of crisis and before they reach that point of pain where they believe that ending life is the solution, which it is not.
The challenge is open to the public. To learn more about the challenge, you can call Miranda at 570-740-0237, or you can email mcosta@luzerne.edu.
Life is tough, but you are tougher. Please don't give up. Start to change your course. There's 2 numbers you can call. Locally in Northeast Pennsylvania, just dial 211. And for a national suicide prevention hotline number, 1-800-273-TALK.
We will have more on the challenge in the days ahead right here on FYI. Well, not only is it Earth Day, it's also Dave Day, and Dave Seaman, the sports editor of the Standard Speaker, and I will talk Penn State football and local spring sports. When we come back, Lisa Sugart sits down with Tamaulipa's mayor and city council or borough council president to talk about an event so big the word big is actually in the title.
This is FYI News 13, brought to you by SSPTV and the Hazleton Standard Speaker.
Hey, we're back here at the Shop 2 in Hazleton on 11th Street. There are 2 locations. One is on Broad Street, the other is here on 11th Street. This is the original location, and each and every month we're back with Tamara to tell you about some of these items that are for sale, how you can save money, how you can shop here and actually sell some of your items, right?
Right, and consignment again. What's the sense in consignment? And there's some pretty cool things here. Every room we go in, we just see different things.
Yes.
And little flashbacks. I had a flashback with this little coffee grinder. My mom used to have the same thing. She used to hide the keys in it from my dad. But there's a lot of cool different things here. She has pottery. There's tons of pictures. There's an amazing picture up there that I just had a little heart
Moment.
tug on. But this is cool. This is a table here that could definitely be repurposed.
This is our height. I think we
Yeah,
could have
we could
have tea
Yeah.
down here. What do you
And
think?
There's a couple mixing all in. But as I looked at this underneath, they actually took the bottom of a pedestal table
Right.
and put the top on it. So it's not high.
Right.
It's low. And how perfect for grandchildren
I
and
love
little
this.
kids. Or even your living room, put a bunch of pillows around and relax on your floor instead of sitting on it up at the table. But this is cool. And that mustard seed paint and different things you can do here. Even chalk paint is coming out. I saw it locally. And I mean, you could paint this any color. There's tons of things on Pinterest you can do. Stencil in it, just paintbrushing it around. But what a cool table for kids.
So they can actually buy it here at the Shop too. And then, tomorrow's going to be opening, so you can ask her some questions or have something, that was a consignment item. You could have it refurbished.
Right, and here's another piece over here. How perfect would this be? Just in your foyer or your mudroom, put some baskets under it, organize some shoes. Well, the
Are
gloves.
shoes ever organized?
No, but gloves and hats, you can finally get rid of them, hopefully. But this is cool. Even just color doesn't match. There's so much you can do with paint. So I suggest stopping up. There's so many cool things, so many little memory triggers. You're going to have a flashback somewhere.
Yes. The phone number and the hours are on the screen. This location open Wednesday and on the weekends. Join us next week for more fun ideas, saving you money right here on What's the Sense.
Time now for FYI News 13 weather.
Honestly zoned out taking this weather shot at the Goin Mine site because it was so peaceful, so I don't know what's going to happen. Maybe a bear will walk by. Let's wait a moment. Nope, no bear, but here's your local weather forecast from the National Weather Service. Tonight, a chance of showers mainly before 10 p.m. A mostly cloudy night. Our low right around freezing, windy 15 to 18 miles per hour for the wind gusts. On Thursday, on our extended forecast, a slight chance of rain and snow showers. Overall, partly sunny day with a high near 45 degrees, very breezy. Little or no snow accumulation is expected. On Thursday night, a slight chance of showers before 9 p.m. Mostly cloudy with a low around 28 degrees. Our Friday looks partly sunny with a high near 48 degrees with a wind between 16 and 20 miles per hour. Friday night partly cloudy with a low around 29 degrees. Saturday will be partly sunny with a high of 53. Saturday night mostly cloudy, low of 33. Sunday mostly sunny with a high near 55 degrees, and Sunday night partly cloudy. We get back down into the 30s. Weather on FYI is brought to you by Boyer Insurance Agency with 2 locations to serve you. One location is in Cunningham on Sugarloaf Avenue. The other one is on Broad Street in Nescapec. You can reach them in Cunningham at 570-788-3543 and in Nescapec at 570-752-7683.
Well, their stage is usually a Tamaqua Council meeting, but this Friday night, the mayor and council president of Tamaqua will be performing on a totally different stage at the Tamaqua Community Arts Center. And here to tell us all about it are the 2 men who will be taking to the stage. I'm pleased to welcome here today the Tamaqua Mayor, Chris Morrison, and also Council President Micah Gursky. Mayor, I'm going to start with you. This is called the Arts Center Big Benefit Concert this Friday at 7 o'clock at the Tamaqua Community Arts Center. What's it all about?
It's all about raising money. We got a great community arts center. We got a lot of volunteers in Tamaqua Borough, and we're putting together some funding to help support the program.
Now, people can come out and hear both of you perform as well as some more?
Absolutely, they can, but they got to dig deep in their wallets because this is all about raising money, and that's the whole point.
And the price of a ticket is how much?
$250.
All right. But that includes food and drinks as well.
Absolutely, and a great time, Mike and I will be doing a duet. I think that's the price of $250 right there.
I absolutely think it's worth much more than that, but hey, who am I? Micah, I just want to say, you told me, I said, how have you sung a lot? How often have you sung? And you said?
I've never done anything like this before, but I'm looking forward to it. It'll be fun, and the mayor and I have had our political differences and things like that at the council meetings, but we work really well, work through some things, and it's been really nice to work with him on putting this together and to help raise some money for a really good cause in Tamaqua. The people at the Art Center do such a nice job, and the Art Center is a place where for a lot of people it's the first time they ever performed, or the first time they ever painted, or the first time they ever sculpted. And so it's appropriate that we have a fundraiser like this where people you wouldn't expect to be up on stage are going to be up on stage.
That's really nice. They put their political differences aside to get up and perform together, all to raise money for a great cause. For people who can come out, or even if they can't come out, they can still help out the Community Arts Center because they can make donations, either monetary or supplies.
Yeah, the Art Center relies on volunteers and donations, whether it's toilet paper, paper towels, painting supplies, anything you can imagine that an Art Center would need.
And I want to ask you, as the mayor, why is this Community Arts Center so important to your community?
Because it just brings everyone together. I mean, it's a good time. It's something for everybody, whether it's a musical being put on the show there, whether it's a concert, whether it's painting or sculpting, even exercise classes. There's so much happening at the Art Center, and it's all for our community, put on for our community, by our community.
Well, I commend both of you. I'm sure it's going to be a wonderful performance. Again, that is taking place this Friday evening at 7 p.m., the Tamaqua Community Arts Center. If you can be there, get a ticket or get it at the door. If not, please help out, make a donation, either monetary or supplies, or you can go down and take one of their many classes to help support them in that way as well. Gentlemen, I know you don't need it, but break a leg.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lisa.
Lisa, as always, much appreciated. Here's your midday winning Pennsylvania lottery numbers before we break. Pick 284, pick 3 283, pick 4 4526, and pick 5 89389. Sports commentary with Dave Seaman from the Standard Speaker next.
This is FYI News 13 Sports.
Previously on Dave Day. Welcome to another Dave Day. I think we should start all of them like that, Dave. Very dramatic. We'll do a little look back. But seriously, previously on Dave Day, I was very excited about the Penn State kicking game going into the blue-white game. But I did say Daniel Pasquarello. I wanted him to be a field goal kicker. Dave, that's not going to happen. He's the punter for Penn State. I thought maybe he would be in the race. Was not. Two kickers, though, that really stuck out in the kicking competition, Dave, that we talked about, Tyler Davis and Joey Julius. Big boy, I would not want to get tackled by him. One kicker you don't want to get tackled by, 5'11", 244 pounds. But Dave, I think Penn State set on special teams. I think they'll be okay there, even with losing Sam Ficken. On the offense, it looked like same old from last year. I mean, Hackenberg sacked 5 times. They threw these short, safe throws. Running game struggled a little bit. There was that one big run I saw by Nick Scott, but it seemed like Anthony Zettel just gave up on the play. He kind of had it and just gave up, and then the kid broke a big run. So overall, you walk away. Even Coach Franklin said the defense obviously a little bit ahead of the offensive line, but that the offensive line is further along than they were last year. What can you really take away from the blue-white game?
I don't know if you take away as much from the blue-white game as the whole spring as a whole, as the complete process, the 21 or how many practices they're allotted. I think the coaching staff got a good idea of where the offensive line and the offense is going to be in general. You know what? You have a quarterback. At running back, Akil Lynch has established himself as the number one running back. The wide receivers are coming back strong, deep. Again, it'll depend on the offensive line, but they had a whole spring to work out, a whole offseason to get stronger. That year's experience is going to pay off in the end too. So it's going to be a work in progress. I mean, we said that all last year too. It wasn't going to be easy for the unit to come together because most of them were first-year players. Some of them were new to the offense, and we'll see what happens as going forward.
Dave, one thing, speaking of progress, Coach James Franklin saying, hey, at least this year numbers are up. We were able to put, together a blue team and a white team. They didn't have as many players running back and forth, of course, with the scholarship limitations from the sanctions coming off, things starting to pay off at Penn State a little bit. Let's talk locally. While I was focusing on Penn State football, Dave and his staff at the Standard Speaker busy covering a lot of talented teams. And Dave, you said a good week for Marion and MMI baseball.
Yeah, both the Preppers started their season last week, believe it or not, with all the weather and everything. They won 3 of 4 games. 2 of those were by shutout. They established themselves a little bit in their division that they're going to have solid pitching with Eddie Herbner, player from last year. Corey Rogers pitched last year. Freshman Mark Lobitz stepped up and had a big game for them. Keeson Patel has come along for them as a sophomore, junior type pitcher. They played well. The Marion Colts had 2 big wins over Tri-Valley and Minersville. Typically, the crossover games for the Colts are, tell how good the Colts are going to be. They won both of those games, so I think that sets up the Colts for later on in the season. And the Hazleton Area High School team started out with a couple losses, Wyoming Valley West and Parkland. They bounced back with a couple wins. One was over Dallas in a league game, and on Saturday they had a great game against an out-of-conference team in Central Bucks East. They came back with trailing 8-6, came back to win 10-9. And so the offense is starting to get going a little bit for the Cougars, and they're going to have the pitching too.
So Dave, we always appreciate you dropping by. Lots of softball, baseball, all spring sports going on as they try to get everything in. The school year is coming close, almost to an end. But keep up with everything. Standard Speaker and standardspeaker.com. Dave, thanks for stopping by. I feel like starting tonight's FYI Standard Speaker scoreboard off with some track and field. The Hazleton Area Cougars, they got a sweep over Wyoming Valley West. The boys, they've won 4 in a row. The Lady Cougars softball team suffered their first defeat in Wyoming Valley Conference play. It took Dallas extra innings, but they got the job done. Tamaqua moved to 7-1 in the Schuylkill League. In softball play, they knocked off North Schuylkill. North Schuylkill is now 5-2 in the league. Monoy area, they split a doubleheader against Nativity. And in high school baseball, Marion and Williams Valley were in a slugfest, and Marion came out on top in the Schuylkill League Division 2-3 crossover game. Remember, Dave said how important these games are to gauge Marion's success. To boys volleyball, where Hazleton area picked up a win. MMI tennis, the Preppers, they moved to 3-3 in the Wyoming Valley Conference. The Penn State Hazleton softball team split a non-conference doubleheader with Wilkes University. Take charge of your future. And finally, the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs, they halted their losing skid at 5 with a win over Scranton Wilkes-Barre. Russ Kanzler was 2 for 4 in this game. It's Wednesday, and here's some delicious alliteration. It's signature steak night at Bottlenecks. All of their signature steaks are only $9.95 plus bottomless soup and salad for only $2.95.
Good evening, everyone, and here's tonight's Talk of the Town report. One quick announcement. Holy Trinity Orthodox Church, 223 South Kennedy Drive in McAdoo, will be having a pierogi and halushki sale Friday, April 24th from 9:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Please call ahead to secure your order, 570-929-2179. That's tonight's Talk of the Town. News 13 would like to send sincere condolences to the family and friends of these recently departed. John W. Callahan of Cunningham. Funeral is Friday at 11 a.m. from the Christ Evangelical Lutheran Church. Friends may call Friday from 9:30 to 11 a.m. The Harmon Funeral Home is assisting the family. Patsy A. Burton of Sugarloaf Township. Friends may call Thursday from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Frank J. Bonin Funeral Home. Salvador L. Sarasola of West Hazelton. Graveside services Saturday at 11 a.m. in the Skyview Memorial Park. Arrangements are under the direction of the Frank J. Bonin Funeral Home. Eva C. Madej of Hazelton. Funeral is Thursday at noon in the Joseph A. Moran Funeral Home. Friends may call Thursday from 11 a.m. to noon. Willard Howard Lamson of Whitehaven. Services are Friday at 11 a.m. at the Whitehaven United Methodist Church. Friends may call Thursday from 4 to 8 p.m. and Friday from 10 to 11 a.m. at the McNulty Funeral Home. Janelle Gusu of New York City. Funeral is Friday at 9 a.m. from the McHugh Wilczek Funeral Home. Friends may call Thursday from 6 to 9 p.m. Joseph F. Markowski of Nuremberg. Arrangements will be announced by the Harmon Funeral Home. Rose M. Torgerson of Weatherly. Funeral is Thursday at 11 a.m. at the Philip J. Jeffries Funeral Home. Friends may call Wednesday from 6 to 8 p.m. and Thursday from 10 to 11 a.m. Mark Wyatt Vernborg of Butler Township. Funeral is Saturday at 9:30 a.m. from the Joseph A. Moran Funeral Home. Friends may call Friday from 6 to 9 p.m. Russell R. Welch, formerly of Kingston. Friends may call Sunday from 5 to 8 p.m. at the Frank J. Bonin Funeral Home. And Rosaluz Tameo Hiki of Drums. Arrangements will be announced by the Harmon Funeral Home.
Hi, I'm Linda Mantush. I'm Marketing Assistant at the Hazelton Chamber, and today we're talking about the 19th Annual Community Reading Day. The Chamber solicits volunteers each year to go into the Hazelton area classrooms, the first and second grade classrooms, and we provide them with a book, and the reader reads the book, they talk about their careers, and they just talk about the book in general. It's a very nice event for everybody involved. The kids love having a reader come in, obviously. The date is April 30th, and that's a Thursday, and we go into the classrooms at 9:30. So I really need a lot of volunteers, probably over 80 volunteers from the Hazelton area business community.
Attention pay-per-view subscribers, if you see your name right now in News 13, you have 13 minutes to call in and win a free movie from Service Electric Cablevision. Our winner tonight is Diane Carey of Barnesville. Diane, if you're watching, give us a call right now, 570-455-7267, extension 104.
There'll be some bonus Dave Day content coming your way at facebook.com/FYI News 13. We'll talk Penn State's defense, and I'll get that up there on Thursday. Until Thursday, take it easy, everyone.